Alrighty, so this is going to be the draft recap video. Um, I'm going to show you the selections that I made in my fantasy draft round by round, so you can kind of get an idea as to where certain players go in each round. You know, kind of get an idea of which guys you want to target. And the goal and purpose of this video is to make sure that you optimize or you maximize your draft picks at each and every selection, so you give yourself the best opportunity to be successful. What you're looking at here is actually my draft board. Every year I basically have a draft board, and I just sort of edit it based on what happened in the previous year. And then, my draft board is pretty, it's a couple of factors that go into it. Obviously I would consider myself an expert, and, I would just say that my criteria is a bit different from, some other people's criteria. And, like, for example, my team is called the Oakland Savages, as you can see. So what I tend to go by is, guys who I would say is a savage. A savage is somebody, like, in football terms, I would say is someone who, number one, is very rarely injured. Somebody who's always going to be available, be out there. That's probably my number one criteria. Like, I don't want a bunch of, what do you say? Stay up, Kane. Nah, get out of here with all that, bro. So I would just say, that's criteria number one. Criteria number two is you gotta produce. Like, I need those heavy hitters. I don't need guys that's inconsistent. So I would say consistency is probably my second criteria for being a savage. And that's pretty much it. Be available and be consistent. That's what I need. Guys who are at or near the top. I don't have to have number one guy, number two guy, because I know me, I'm gonna balance it out. If I can get, for example, like, if I can get like 3 receivers, like, in the top 25, then you know what I mean. I'd rather have that than just have, like, the number one receiver and then all my other receivers are like, 30 or below. You know what I mean? Like, I like balance. It's probably the Libra in me. Shout out to, my season coming up, baby. Shout out to all my Libras out there. Gang. But anyway, so as you can see, this is my draft board. Like I said, I just have different criteria. I try to base it basically as if I was ranking, like, who are the top guys, top players, regardless of position, like, in the league. But then I do factor in, like, this is fantasy football, so, like, you'll see if you've ever played fantasy football. It's always a run on running backs, like, early, like the top 6, top 8, top 10 picks can all be running backs, because those are just that's the position that obviously is just like in real life. Those guys tend to drop like flies more than anybody else. So you gotta have as many running backs as you possibly can, because you just never know when one of them is gonna get injured. So, all that being said, basically this is my draft board. I tend to do, like, when I first did this, we used to have 16 rounds. Now I think we expanded it to 19. But with 16 rounds, and I'm in a 12-person league, if you do the math, that gives you 192 picks. But since we added 3 more spots, it's really more than that. But I kept mine at 192. The reason why is because it condenses the list. It gives me, like, the best of the best options. bench spots, I'm probably those are gonna be basically interchangeable. Like those are gonna be the spots that I use to pick up, drop, if I need to fill in quarterback or whatever, for a week. So I didn't really care about that. So that's why I didn't expand it from, 192. I just left it. And then also, I only put the top 12 kickers, if you look here, from 184 to 192. I only put 12 kickers on there. And then also, same thing for defenses and special teams, which actually I put 14 technically. If you look right here, you see Miami and Chicago. I did that because, I just wanted to give myself a few more options, but I kept them at the top 12 for the most part because and I put them at the bottom, at the very bottom. Basically because these should be your last picks. Like, it always trips me out when guys, start taking defense in like the 9th or 10th round. I'm like, dude, you could really fill out your bench with some quality guys from like round, 10 through like 14 or 15. Like these should be your very last picks. That's basically one way that like I said, to optimize each and every draft selection. That's the goal of this video. If I didn't state it or make it plain earlier, you want to optimize, maximize, get the very most value that you can out of each and every selection, including your kickers and defense. So again, I put the top 12 guys, as far as kickers, and the top 12 to 14 defenses, like the top, not, and it's really based, we don't really know. This is all projection if you haven't drafted yet, but this is all based on last year, so we don't really know, who's gonna be the top guys. But this is, and I got these basically from like ESPN had a draft kit or something. They did like their top, 200 players or what have you. So I just basically used those to kind of give me an idea as to, but I still kind of arranged them, more or less how I think it's going to shake out. So there would be some notable differences. Like, again, this is my personal list, so there would be some notable differences from this list that I'm showing you. I'm giving you, all access, exclusive inside look into, my thoughts, my basically my own personal draft board. You guys can see what's on the screen here. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into it, and so I can show you like how this actually flushed out. Because, I want to just show you guys like what are some key differences between like how I have these guys going, and also some similarities to kind of show you like basically I'm not too far off from the way things actually panned out. Like I actually know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about. So let's get into it here. So I had Derrick Henry 1, Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey. The top 6 picks I anticipated to be running back, so let's see how that went. Alright. McCaffrey goes first, Derrick Henry, then Dalvin Cook, then I am here, the Savages. We took Ezekiel Elliott. You always gonna rep the home squad, baby. Alvin Kamara, Saquon, Nick Chubb. So actually the first, like I said, top 8 picks of running backs. So it's more or less similar at 4. Zeke went at 4, like I thought. Alvin Kamara actually went at 5. I had him at 3. You know, Derrick Henry. I mean, the guy took Christian McCaffrey #1, which is what I anticipated. I mean, that's what all the mainstream media, you know, outlets who cover fantasy football would, you know, they're gonna promote him. So, you know, yeah, I don't have to tell you why, you know. But I mean, he doesn't fit my criteria for a Savage. I mean, he had that one good year, I guess, but what was he? He was banged up last year. Like I told some guys in my group chat, like eventually he ain't gonna make it, man. I'm sorry. It's just too physical a game and too brutal of a position for him and his size and his stature. I mean, I like him. I like Christian McCaffrey, but you know, it's deep. Man, I'm not gonna get too philosophical. I'm not gonna get into that. I'll drop another video about that. But anyway, what I wanted to show you too, so I had Devontae as the #1 receiver, Tyreek #2, right? And D Hop at #3. This is where it's gonna get interesting. So, as you can see, after Joe Mixon, Kelsey went off the board, Devontae, Tyreek Hill. Why does that look familiar? Oh, Devontae, Tyreek Hill. Okay. Interesting. Now, as you can see, Stephon Diggs went next. I actually had D Hop going in that spot. Diggs is right below. And again, my personal opinion, it's really hard to tell the difference between those two, to be honest with you. Just one of them got dreads and one of them don't, you know. But those are two elite receivers. So shout out to those brothers. Then you got Justin Jefferson at 13, which I'm like, oh, it's kind of reach. I actually have him down here at 21. I mean, he had a great rookie season, but you know, we'll see. I mean, we'll see. So, keep on going. Now we're into the second round. See more running backs. Just why they coming up off that board, huh? Gibson, Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris, Eckler, Edwards Helaire. Then you got Calvin Ridley. Then you got Aaron Jones. So, looking at that, something that I noticed, again, running backs come at a premium, so I knew one of these receivers was going to drop to me. You know, I honestly probably thought it was going to be Stephon Diggs, maybe Calvin Ridley. But it ended up being, oh my goodness, DeAndre Hopkins. Thank you very much. Again, I got DeAndre way up here. It's like 9th overall. To get him at 21, I will take that. You know what I mean? Like, I will take that. Appreciate you. Appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Man. You know, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown. So, I'm good there so far, right? So now, this is a snake draft for those of y'all that don't know. So I had the 4th pick in the first round. In the second round, I would have the 9th pick of that round. Right. And so then in the third round, I'm back at the 4th spot. See Josh Jacobs, which is my selection, right? So I look at my board. I actually had Josh at 24. And I'm here at 28, so to me that's a good selection. Now, as you can see, J.K. Dobbins went at the top of the 3rd. You know, obviously I want to wish him a speedy recovery. I was a big fan of his, you know, coming out of Ohio State, so I really hope he's able to get back. But as you can just kind of see, I actually had Dobbins below Josh Jacobs. And honestly, like this is where, like it's those things that you can't explain. You know, again, I just have a certain wisdom, a certain insight, a certain set of skills. You know what I mean? That y'all just, I couldn't even put it in words, but you know, I just kind of had a feeling. I just had a feeling, man. You know, something had me put Josh Jacobs, because I promise you, the ESPN list or whatever that I looked at did not have, especially at this time. If you look at this date, August 17th, this is before the injury, it would not have had Dobbins below Josh Jacobs. You know, that was just something that I had kind of, you know, I just had a feeling, man. I don't know. You know, I can't explain it, but my boy said Jacobs was the pick over Dobbins anyway. But actually, if you look here, we keep going in this third round. Okay, CeeDee Lamb, Chris Carson, DeAndre Swift. Montgomery really was the pick I was supposed to make. If I just stuck to my draft board, because I actually had Montgomery higher than Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs here at 24. I actually had Montgomery up here at 20, right below DK. You know, the next running back after Mixon. So, and I have them above like Edwards-Helaire, Eckler. Like, I think I saw both of them go above Montgomery and Jacobs. Like, if I'm not mistaken. You know, and Edwards-Helaire, yeah, he's dynamic, but he's little. Again, he's going to end up with that Christian McCaffrey treatment. He's little man. You know, so Austin Eckler, hell, if I'm not mistaken, he's already hurt. As of the recording of this video, week 1 has yet to start, but it's about to. And he already, you know, hamstring or something I was looking at. So again, these guys are not fitting the criteria of savages, so I strategically placed them in certain spots, I guess you could say, or I don't know, because it just worked out that I got the guys that I feel like are gonna play game in and game out. Like, when I looked at Josh Jacobs' 2020 game log, I think he missed like one game, bro. You know what I'm saying? And he was dominant. He had like 12 touchdowns. You know how they always say, oh, he's not involved in the passing game. Because I am in a .5 PPR league, but I'm just like, so what? Like, they gonna throw him some passes. Like, you know, a lot of these rankings, especially now, they got Josh Jacobs like way down there. You know, I don't believe that. You know, if the Raiders are smart, if John Gruden's smart, and he needs to be trying to get to the playoffs, you need to feed that horse right there, my brother. Until you can't feed him no more, then you bring Kenyon Drake in. That's how that works. So anyway, let's keep it moving. So in those first 3 rounds, you see a lot of those, your home run hitters for sure. You know, as far as fantasy, Keenan Allen, he's a home run hitter. Chris Carson is. David Montgomery. Okay, so I wanted to explain why I didn't go with David Montgomery. I just told you why I like Josh Jacobs. David Montgomery, I wouldn't call him injury prone, but I don't like the Bears' usage of him. Now, from a fantasy perspective, it's actually good. Like, he gets a lot of touches, whether it's passes out of the backfield, whether it's carries. But I don't like how they, like, how can I say it? Like, they don't necessarily scheme him up to be, like, wide open. Like, he basically, he has to work very hard. You know what I'm saying, for his yards. He got to work very hard in that Bears offense. Like, I've been watching him for a few years now. He misses a game or two here and there because of it. Like, they putting a lot of wear and tear on that youngster. You know, and I don't know if he's really built for it, but so far he's been showing it. So that was just a slight difference I had, you know, like, because I knew when I was drafting in my selection, what was I at, 28? I knew Montgomery was projected to be better than Jacobs this year, but something about, like I said, it's not Montgomery's fault. He's a warrior, you know. But it's just something about how the Bears use him, and then like he'll have like games where he got like 13, 14 carries, like maybe 60 yards, which is decent, but like the average should be a little higher. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, but basically, to put it in a nutshell, I like David Montgomery. I just think the Bears misuse him. They don't use him as efficiently as they should. So, there you go. Anyway, let's keep it moving. So, I see Darren Waller has come out the board. What are we in tight ends? Because I want to make a point about tight ends. Tight ends, you can wait. You can really, really wait on tight ends. Kelsey was the first one, so Waller had to be second. And then Kittle. Okay, yeah. So, again, unless you're getting one of these three, that's what I wanted to say. Like, unless you're getting one of these three tight ends, like after, and this is the end of round 3, so you know what I'm saying? After that, like I would leave tight ends alone until like, man, like at least like round 12, like, which is what I end up doing. Like I was not worried about tight end. If you're not getting one of those three, don't even worry about it, because the rest of them below those three, like even Mark Andrews, I probably would put him fourth, but like the rest of them below those top 4 guys, like it's gonna be so much variation. Like some guys gonna go up and go down all throughout the season, and you're just not gonna be able to know week to week, like, okay, this is a stud, I can put him in and he's gonna deliver the expected amount of points, you know. So that's my little note for you on tight ends. Like you can literally wait. If you don't get one of those top 3, you know, whenever they go, just wait all the way until like round 12. You can still get some decent tight ends. So anyway, round 4, you see here, Josh Allen, dude. Like this is what I want to make a point of. He is the first quarterback off the board. Like the disrespect, because as you can see, here's Mahomes. Like, come on, fam. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? True S-I-T right here, boy. S-H-I-T. What's wrong with this fool? You know what I mean? Again, and Josh Allen, man, I don't want to get too philosophical, but y'all know what it is, bro. You know what I'm saying? Man had one good year, and now he like the second coming. Like, stop playing with me, bro. Like, I know y'all see what's going on. I know you see it. Stop playing with me. I know y'all see what's going on. So, y'all know what I talk about when I say these things. Shout out to Deontay Wilder, Bomb Squad. We a month away. Oh, we a month away. I can't wait. So anyway, Josh Allen went at the top of the 4th round. Okay, blah blah blah. Who did I go with? Oh, Amari Cooper. Yes sir. Yes sir. Gotta rep the home squad, and I tell you, gotta rep the home squad, bro. And Amari, man, the disrespect on my man name, bro, it just be ridiculous. So anyway, let me show y'all. I'm supposed to be showing y'all my draft board. Let's get off into the 4th round, pick 45. Boom. DJ Moore. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I got Amari Cooper, which I had all the way up here at 35, I got him down here at 45, my 4th round selection. Hell of a pick, great value. You know, he is vastly underrated, if you can believe that, man. I'm just like, dog. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? And rightfully so, I like CD. You know, don't get me wrong, but like, dude, y'all just gonna disrespect Amari Cooper like that? Why? Because he quiet, he don't say nothing? Alright, okay. It's always been quiet. You know what I'm saying? That'd be a savage. That'd be a freaking savage up in this. Alright. So anyway, like I say, the disrespect, bro. Y'all taking Cooper Kupp. Really? Really, dude? You ain't trying to win. Appreciate your donation. Look, that's why the money flying away right here. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate your donation, fam. Man, I can't believe see this, the disrespect. Look at this. So anyway, let's show y'all. Where's Cooper? Bro, down here at 50 on my board. Like, you ain't nowhere close to Amari. These two things are not the same. You know what I'm saying? But again, I could, let me not get so philosophical, man. I could just get, man, I could tell you why it is, why these dudes is gassed TF up. You understand what I'm saying? They is gassed up, bro, of all this, you know what I'm saying? This greatness right here. You know what I'm saying? Josh Allen, what do they have? Taking him over this black greatness, bro. Let me stop, man. Let me stop. So anyway, wide receivers in the 4th round is what I tend to notice. You know what I'm saying? Top 3 rounds gonna be running backs. It's gonna be a mixture, of course, but it's mostly running backs in the top 3 rounds. So basically, let's recap my top 4. I went Zeke 1. DeAndre Hopkins 2, which was just a pleasant surprise. Josh Jacobs 3, Amari Cooper 4. So now I have 2 running backs, 2 receivers. Nice and balanced. That's that Libra. Nice and balanced. So anyway, let's keep it rolling. 5th round. Oh my lord. How did y'all let me get... Oh, it's going down like a plane crash, my man. Say, y'all let me get Julio Jones, bro. You know what I'm saying? I had Julio 44. I got him at 52. Which means he dropped like freaking 8 spots from where I would have took him. You know, he should have went 8 spots earlier. Y'all out here taking Chase Edmonds, bro. Really? Y'all smoking? Smoking that stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all crazy? You know what I'm saying? You taking Kyle Pitts? Wow, boy. What? A tight end? I'm taking Julio, man. Are you crazy? Speaking of tight end. So, anyway, like I said, you can get Kyle Pitts, but I would just wait. I wouldn't get him or, you know, whoever. Like, if it ain't the top 3, if it ain't Kittle, Waller, and Kelsey, I ain't trying to chance it. But as you can see, some of that is kind of what leads to guys dropping to me being able to optimize my draft pick. So anyway, that's the 5th round selection. You can see, oh my God, Dak Prescott. Let's go, Dak. Wish I would make Dak like, let's see, Colin went above him. Dak was like the 4th quarterback. Let's see, Patrick Mahomes, maybe 5th. Lamar Jackson. Dak like 5th quarterback off the board. And then, you know, like quarterback, like if you ain't. To me, like, look, let me show you what I did at quarterback. So basically, for quarterback, I put Mahomes at 1, Lamar Jackson at 2. Right? I put them way up here at 26 and 27. Why? Because that would signal the beginning of the 3rd round. So I just thought it would be a nice little way to start off the 3rd round. By, you know, saying, hey, the top 2 quarterbacks in fantasy football, they should go here, you know. Bump what everybody else is saying. Josh Allen, man, y'all better stop it. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me started, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all not gonna show respect to, man, say, you know. Like, I would even understand Aaron Rodgers. Bro, Josh Allen? Are you... I thought it would be a good place to put them, you know, as the top 2 picks. of the first round. So that's where I put them. But then if you come like it's a long time coming before you see any more quarterbacks come out the board. And my number 3 quarterback is freaking like Aaron Rodgers, bro. Like, are y'all crazy? Like, y'all just gonna keep letting me get him. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Hint, not really a hint. Because that was my next selection. You know, you see Odell and Kareem and blah, 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 blah. Just trying to speed this thing on up, man. So you see 6th round, I got Aaron Rodgers at 69. I had him at 61. You know, basically, like, because I made this board, I was able to plot and just know exactly where I was going to get these guys. You know? Oh, dang, this video getting kind of long. So, I'm going to just run through the rest of these real quick because I got a couple gems to show you. Again, this video is to kind of just illustrate why you should subscribe to this channel, why you should support this channel, why you should, you know, come here for all your fantasy football needs and just other needs. You know, we can chop it up about anything. You know, my range is just so nice. So anyway, as you see, my 6th round pick was Aaron Rodgers, and now I'm back at the top of the 7th round. Who did we get? Oh, Damian Harris. Now guess what? Again, we drafted like August like 15. Like, I don't even think they had played the first preseason game by the time we drafted. Like, we completed this draft. But something just told me like Damian Harris, the Patriots is gonna ride with him this year. You know, he was very impressive last year, and you know he only played like 7 games, but he still had like 2 100-yard games, and you know, he was impressive. So something just told me they was gonna rock with him again. By this point, you know, I had only drafted 2 running backs. And running backs, you know, in fantasy football, just like in real life, like they drop like flies. So I knew like after I got my quarterback, because basically I had filled in. If you know how a fantasy roster looks. You have 2 running backs, 2 receivers, flex, a tight end, a quarterback, defense, special teams, and a kicker. So I had already filled out like basically this guy, Damian Harris, is like the first guy on my bench. Like I had already filled out what I would call the core of my team. So you know, he was my first bench guy. Right. And again, this is like mid-August, so this was before 2 big things happened. I'm only gonna mention one of them because I want to save the other one for you. But Cam Newton got released, right? Cam Newton obviously was gonna get a lot of carries at the goal line because he's Cam Newton. Now all of that's, or most of that, you would assume is gonna go to Damian Harris. So that improved his stock just from the time we drafted up until today, which is actually the first day of the season. Cowboys and Bucks tonight. From the time we drafted, which was like mid-August, like I said, the 15th, I think it was, his stock just grew tremendously. Like, if he was a stock on the stock market, boy, I would have hit. You know what I mean? I'd be rolling in the dough. Hopefully, by the end of this year, you know, I'm this fantasy league, I'm rolling in the dough. But anyway, so that was my 7th pick, and then y'all can see, y'all can go back and rewind it, you know, slow it down so you can just kind of see who went where. My 8th pick, I actually went with Kenyon Drake. Why? Because he's the top backup to one of my starting running backs, Josh Jacobs. So, you know, Josh Jacobs, like I said, I expect big things from him, but I would do it like you feed him as much as you can, like first, second, and third down. Like especially if it's 3rd and 5, or you know, 3rd and 5 or less, basically 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5. Like, you keep Jacobs in there. You know, you keep feeding him. Maximize him, get the most out of him. But that being said, you know, Kenyon Drake. First of all, Kenyon Drake damn near ran for 1,000 yards himself last year, so he's capable of toting that field if anything was to happen to Jacobs. But he mostly is a pass catching back, which I'm in a PPR league, so it always helps to have him. And again, running backs, you know, now is my run on running backs, so to speak. Like everybody else, you know, top rounds was like some guys' top 3 selections was running backs. My top 3 selections was 2 running backs and a receiver. But some guys' top 3 picks are like running backs. So I was more patient. I actually took, like I said, 3 out of my top 5 picks were actually receivers. So again, it's all about what you prefer. Me, I prefer balance. So I just went with balance. So let's keep it rolling. As you can see, the 9th round, I actually got Zach Moss. So let's see where those guys were relative to where I had them on the draft. Let's actually start too with Harris, because I didn't really do with Harris and show you where he was. So I had him at 76. Actually, I drafted him at 76. I had him at 78. So basically what I'm saying is this draft board really helped me. You know what I mean? It really helped me know, like, and the people who I drafted with, they know if they was in there, they know I was just, like, mine was like coming rapid fire. Like, I was just, as soon as it was my turn, it didn't take me more than 10 seconds sometimes to make my selections. Like, I already knew who it was I was going to grab. So, let's keep it rolling. Kenyon Drake, 93. I had him way down here. I think at 110. Yeah, I had him here at 110. Why? Because I don't know, man. He just went and chose to be a backup. Like, I don't understand that. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I just didn't have him that high. I actually had my next pick after Drake, which was Zach Moss, ranked much higher than I had Kenyon Drake. Zach Moss, I had him at 99. Got him at 100. You know what I mean? So again, it basically, my draft board really helped me to know, like, who I was gonna grab where. You know what I mean? Zach Moss, like I'm seeing, okay, so this is the 10th round. This is the first defense to come up. Why are you drafting defense in the 10th round? Like, it's rare that a defense is going to carry you to a fantasy championship. I've seen it. Like, that one year the Patriots had a good defense. Let's see. My next pick was Devin Singletary in the 10th round at 117. I actually had him ranked somewhere near there. I actually had him ranked 121, so it wasn't too bad. Like, it wasn't a reach. I kind of went down for him, but I drafted him also because obviously now that gives me, you know what I mean, the monopoly, so to speak, if you will. I got the monopoly on the Buffalo Bills backfield. Basically, I got both of their running backs. Like, if one guy's not in there, the other guy's gonna be in there. If it's not Zach Moss, it'll be Devin Singletary. If it's not Devin Singletary, it'll be Zach Moss. And I also have that with the Raiders. Basically, I got the monopoly on 2 backfields. Without, like, you know, spreading myself too thin. Like, these are, you wouldn't even call these mid-round picks. These is like mid to late round picks. Like, we it's starting to get late. Draft exhaustion is finna start setting in. That's why, like I said, when I was making my selections, I'm just picking and going on about my business. Like, I ain't even finna stew over it too long, because you will get what I call draft exhaustion, because each person has like a minute and 30 seconds, or at least a minute, to make their selection. A minute is kind of a long time. Like, I want to say it took us maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to finish this draft, especially with the expanded rounds. Like I mentioned, like instead of 16 rounds, it's 19 rounds. So it was kind of, it was like a marathon. You really had to be locked in and focused. So anyway, round 11, see here, Devontae Parker, I think is a good selection. I decided to go back to receiver because basically my last 4 picks from round 7 through 10, 7, 8, 9, and 10 were all running backs. I had my little run on running backs. Damian Harris, Kenyon Drake, Zach Moss, and they were all, like I said, right where I projected them to go. So to me, that means I got the optimal value for him. Devontae Parker at 124. Oh, I actually had him above Singletary, at 118. So this would also be, basically a fall. Like, he fell to me at 124. You can say that. I think that's going to be a good selection. Not completely sold on Tua. Speak of the devil, here he is. Not completely sold on Tua. Hey, tight end go right here. But anyway, we'll see. Hopefully, shoot. If I'm wrong, then hey. You know what I mean? Good for me. Hopefully, Devontae Parker's in the plans. It seems like, honestly, they're trying to get him out of that. But if they do, he would get traded. It's not like he can't play. He would get traded to somebody who, would probably utilize him better. So it's all good. Let's see. So again, Evan Ingram, as you can see, 141. Now, again, this is where the draft exhaustion kind of set in, because I didn't even mean to pick him. Like, it auto-drafted for me, because I was just sitting there just like, man, I don't know who to draft. At this selection, like, the time expired on my head. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just, so anyway. But, like I said, I didn't have to pick a tight end until like round 12. And as you see, look, it's like 4 tight ends in this round. Irv Smith, who he ended up, I think, out for the season. Jonnu Smith, I think he'll be pretty decent. I actually think he's going to be the one that emerge. Not Hunter Henry. Everybody hype on Hunter Henry, but if he was that cold, San Diego wouldn't let him. They ain't got no room to be able to let nobody go. The last time they been to the playoffs. So anyway, so yeah, I ended up with Evan Ingram. He went right before that. I probably would have drafted him, but I don't know, man. Honestly, like I said, I got to this point and I was just stuck. So it auto-drafted Evan Ingram for me, which is good. Like, the dude just can't stay healthy, bro. I don't know what it is with him, man. Like, when you see him out there on the field, like, man, you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be nobody to be able to guard him. He should be, like, doing what Travis Kelce is doing. Like, no cap. But for whatever reason, he just can't get it together, so... Like I said, now I see Ebron off the board, so like now, like I said, you can play Jarwin, whatever. Like, you can get some tight ends around that range. You don't have to force it. So anyway, selection actually. Round 13, Russell Gage. Again, this is where having a draft board really came into play. If you go to that was actually a good auto draft selection, but he fell to me like that. I didn't even know like what to do. And at this point, I didn't have a tight end. That's why they auto drafted him, I guess. So anyway, let's see. So that was it. 141, 12th round, 13th round, 148. I got Russell Gage, which I know I had him. Okay, 142, then I got him at 148, so you could say he kind of fell to me. It was right around that range. I mean, just being a number 2 receiver in an offense, like, dude, he's like poised for 1,000 yards, like just based on that alone. You see what I'm saying? So, an excellent pick. You know, again, these are the later rounds. We're in round 13. I'm getting like technically a number 2 receiver, like, you know, somebody who's gonna, you know, come close to 1,000 yards, maybe double-digit touchdowns. Like, if that happens, oh man, that's like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like the steal of the century. That's like you going, you know, into the grocery store or something, and they got like a major sale where you just feel like you low-key robbing them, like. You know what I mean? Like they having like a blowout sale or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but anyway. So that was the logic behind that. I don't know how much he really stretches the field, so to speak, but just based off sheer volume, like the fact that he's the number 2 in Atlanta. And, you know, Matt Ryan in Atlanta, they like to throw the ball. I think that's why they didn't really go and try to get a running back like Mike Davis, bro. Stop playing with me. Like, I don't even know that dude. We don't know. Shout out to Kanye, man. I'm gonna go have to listen to that doctor, man. But anyway, like, here we are in the 13th round again. Remember I said your defenses and your kickers should be like last, bro? Well, we got 19 rounds, so it's like 5 more picks left. Like, why? What are y'all doing, bro? Y'all just finna let me scoop up all this talent. You know what I'm saying? Russell Gage, like I said, because somebody want to take Washington defense. Like, what? Any one of them D linemen, especially Chase Young, get hurt, like, it's a wrap for them, bro. They ain't, man, stop playing. Like, I'm not doing that. What's wrong with y'all? Harrison Butker, y'all up here taking kickers and defense, and we got like 5-6 more rounds left. Like, alright, cool. So I'm finna, you know what I'm saying, stack up. So 13, Russell Gage, like I said, a number 2 receiver, could possibly be a 1,000-yard receiver. You know what I mean? 14th round, Nelson Aguilar. All y'all gotta do, I mean, I'm sure y'all do. Y'all watch the preseason videos with Matthew Berry and Field Yates and all these type of people, you know, and they give their opinions and such about these guys. And, well, if you want to listen, you can listen to them or you can listen to me. But, you know what I mean? Like, I was able to get this dude in the 14th round. He basically is like a starting receiver. Saying same thing that I said about Russell Gage applies to Nelson Aguilar. As far as being a potential 1,000-yard receiver, I'm sitting here getting 1,000-yard receivers in the 13th and 14th round. You know what I mean? Like, talk about optimization. I actually had Nelson Aguilar right up here, way up here, 127. And it's funny, him and Ingram and all these guys is like kind of close to each other. Russell Gage, number one receiver in New England. Him and Jacoby Myers. So, take that for what it's worth. I don't really believe in Mac Jones, bro. Disrespect to Cam, bro. Man, I'm not even gonna talk about it. But he could prove me wrong. I mean, all I know is Aguilar looked pretty good to me last year with Derek Carr, and so I really like if he doesn't look good with the Patriots, then I'm kind of looking at the Patriots sideways, and I don't think Belichick and will let that happen. So I actually anticipate big things again from Aguilar. I mean, I think he only signed like a 1-year deal. Like he ain't. I don't know. He still got stuff to prove. Is what I'm trying to say. As long as once he got out of sorry ass Philadelphia, like it's been brighter days for him. So hopefully that can continue. So anyway, now you see, okay, here in the 15th round, I went defense. Now the reason why is because at this point, like, all the top defenses are coming off the board. These guys didn't hardly leave me nothing. Again, I only put the top 12 on there, so as the draft is going on, I'm counting. I'm like, okay, there's 1 defense, 2 defense, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm counting. I'm like, okay, I know like the top 10 defenses is gone by now. And I don't, at that point, I don't want to keep chancing it and waiting. So I go ahead and grab the Colts defense. I think, like last year, they was like number 3, like in terms of fantasy points. It's the special teams too. You get touchdowns for like return punts and kickoffs, and obviously fumble recoveries and interceptions. You get those touchdowns, you get points for all that. So I had the Colts, as you can see, their defense was somewhere on here, 182. I actually had to grab them, but it's still late. Like at 172. Like that's how perfect my draft board is. It still kind of lines up, even though, like I said, there's more rounds. You know what I mean? There were more rounds. But I just knew guys was just gonna do some dumb shit. So basically, I just kind of waiting on it. Like Javian, like really, bro? Didn't this guy get cut? Like, do he even still play for the Falcons? You know what I mean? You got type of stuff like that going on. Some guys like you see here, bro. I know this is like his 3rd defense he done drafted. Like he drafted like 3 defenses, bro. Like why? Okay, go right ahead. Keep getting these 1,000-yard receivers, Aguilar and Russell Gage, and you know what I mean. It just allowed for stuff like that to happen. For those type of guys to fall to me, and for me to just have the ultimate sort of depth on my roster. So anyway, round 16, as you can see, that was a surprise. Bing, 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 bing. Sony Michel. So remember earlier how I said I had Damian Harris? Well, I drafted Sony Michel because at the time, like he was still, as you can see, New England Patriots, he was still with them. I actually thought that he was going to be like the 2nd string running back, basically behind Damian Harris. And then obviously, James White would be the pass catcher or whatever, but I had no idea they were going to trade him to the Rams. And could he have gone to a better team, like a team with a decent or a solid offense? You know what I mean? It's not like he went to, I don't know, Houston or something. Like, they actually put him on a solid team. So, that again. So basically, Damian Harris's stock went up twice. It went up when the Patriots cut Cam Newton, because now all those goal line carries are gonna go to Damian Harris. But then they backdoored and traded Sony Michel which is a guy who I actually happen to have. So now it increases Sony Michel's stock as well as Damian Harris's stock. Like, I got the double whammy. You know what I mean? I got the double whammy, bro. Like, they couldn't do nothing with it, bro. I'm like the envy of my league, bro, because they just like, man, that happened. You know? So anyway. And, you know what I'm saying? I had Sony Michel, like, he was on here somewhere. He was way up here. 147, there you go. Right? I got him at 189, bro. And again, it's because I tend to look at it like I'm rating them like based on how cold or how talented I think they are, bro. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I don't buy into the hype on a lot of this stuff. Like, you're not gonna tell me this young dude, Ramondre Stevenson, oh, look good, but you're not gonna tell me that he better than Sony Michel, bro. I refuse to believe it. You know what I mean? Like, stop playing with me. He's on here. He's right here at 157. I got Michel at 147, Ramondre at 157, but in my draft, it actually panned out 188 for Stevenson, 189 for Michel. So anyway, as you can see, you know, I'm just like, I'm a guru when it comes to this type of stuff. Anyway, next pick, I was gonna rock with Trey Lance, like just keep him on the bench all year, basically. He was gonna be my next Kaepernick. Like, when I look at him, that's what I see. And that year that Kaepernick took over, like, that was actually probably one of my first years playing fantasy football, and I just happened to scoop him up. Because I remember the boy Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh, his coach at the time, kept saying, "You gonna roll with Kaepernick?" Like, they kept asking about, well, what about Alex Smith? And don't it just seem eerily similar? Like, well, what about Jimmy G? Trey Lance is our starter. Like, I could see that happening. Like, Jim Harbaugh was like, Cap's gonna be our starter. Like, you know what I mean? I was killing him that year in fantasy, bro. I ain't know nothing about him. I just seen him. Bro was out there running like a gazelle. But Trey Lance is not of that same ilk. Trey Lance played at North Dakota State. You know anything about me? I'm not big on the smaller schools, the D2s, and all that translating to the NFL, bro. Like, some of them do, but they gotta be real special. You know what I mean? I actually think Trey Lance is that special. Who I didn't think, who I knew was not that special before he came out, was freaking Carson Wentz, bro. You know what I mean? Where is he at? He ain't even get drafted in our stupid fantasy draft. You know why? Because he freaking sucks. And I knew he sucked way back then. And what do Cooper Kupp and Josh Allen and Christian McCaffrey and Carson Wentz all have in common? Gee, do I wonder. Y'all better stop playing with me, bro. But yeah, I ain't roll with Trey Lance, but actually, as of recording of this video, I dropped him. If you wanna, keep him and stash him, I would recommend it. I wish I didn't have to drop him, but I had some other pressing needs I had to sort of take care of throughout the off season, which I'm gonna show you in a minute once we get to the end, which we almost are. I'm almost at an hour on this video. Shout out to you if you done hung in with me this long, if you done hung in with me this long. Like I said, it's like all of this is these gems, it's information, it's stuff that you should take and just kind of stew on and just meditate on. So anyway, down here at 213, Cole Kmet, because again I wasn't sold on Evan Ingram. So I took Cole Kmet and, I thought he was going to, be like my backup tight end. And he started having injuries in training camp and then I remember Jimmy Graham is still there, so yeah, I actually made a change. I'm gonna show you guys my roster in a minute. You can see the changes that I made, but again, these are like late round picks. I have pretty much no emotional attachment to these guys. Like, by this point, these were just like their flyer guys. I'll take a flyer on him. I'll take a flyer on this person, you know. Hence why, like I said, it was Trey Lance. Basically, Trey Lance, Cole Kmet, and actually McManus. Those are my last 3 picks. Like, those are the picks that by then, like, I didn't really, care about. Cole Kmet was actually, like, he had some good preseason hype or whatever, but he just kind of fell off. Anyway, man, that's pretty much it. Like I said, my last round, I'm saving defense and special teams. I took my defense in the 15th, because I had to, because guys drafting 2 and 3 defenses on that roster, so it kind of left the pickings kind of slim, but I think it all worked out. Like, the Colts are a good defense. Then I ended up with McManus. As you can see, I had him ranked on here somewhere, but I pretty much, I'm gonna show you guys. So McManus, he was on there as the number 4 kicker, believe it or not. By this point, I'm pretty sure it wasn't a lot of kickers left either. I saw them coming off the board hella early. So that's pretty much the notes to take away from this. Some guys are gonna come off the board hella early. You don't know what your peers or your contemporaries are gonna do in y'all's draft league. So it's all just kind of it's a lot of it. It's a lot of subjectivity in it, but me, like, I've been watching football since I could walk, basically. Like, literally since I could walk. And when I say watching it, I don't mean like most kids. Like, I'm actually watching and seeing what unfolds and studying the game. Like, even as an infant, basically. Y'all can understand. So anyway, that's been it for this video. Let me go ahead and show y'all real quick before we get out of here my team. This is the full, complete roster. Again, I made some changes. Cole Kmet got dropped. I was actually able to pick up Austin Hooper from the waiver wire. Probably like that Tuesday after we drafted. So like mid-August, I don't know how he was, like, nobody drafted him, so he was just out there, and like, he's a starting tight end for, I understand the Browns run it a lot, but like, he doesn't have any threat or any competition for his spot. I don't feel like. Also, I went ahead and dropped McManus. I might pick him back up, but I dropped him basically because, as you can see, man, Carson was ranked number 3 last year. Look at him. Cold ass white boy. It's all good. He looks like a savage, bro. Like, he belongs on the Savages. You know what I'm saying? So anyway. Slight modifications, and like I mentioned, I had to drop Trey Lance. Somebody just not a believer. Like, no offense, I had him on my board. I actually had Hooper on my board too, like way at the bottom, right before my defense. So that let me know I was on the right track. Like, I knew I needed to upgrade my tight end because, of course, lo and behold, Evan Ingram, Mr. Can't Stay Healthy. He's not gonna play week 1. So I basically only had Hooper, which was great. Like, I dropped Kmet in a heartbeat. Like, how did he slip by me? You know what I mean? That was who I should have drafted instead of the Cole Kmet pick. So I made that switch. I made the switch in kicker, which Carson is not even in the top 12. I don't know how. Like, I would have like him at least above Matt Prater, bro. Matt Prater ain't showed me nothing in a long time. You know, so I'm a rock with Carson. You know, I like the Raiders' offense. Their ability to move the ball much more than Denver's. You know, you can't just keep asking McManus to line up right there and kick 50 yarders, bro. It's not cool, man. It's not cool. So, anyway, that's been it for this video. I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. You know, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. You know, if you want to donate, the links are down below. And I'll catch y'all on the